Welcome back, guys, and today I got a really cool video. We just got our 2025 S1000RR yesterday, and we also have our 2023 S1000 out here as well. Now, the 2025 is really a polarizing bike. I've seen a lot of compliments about it, saying this is the best looking bike they've ever produced. BMW cooked with this one. On the other side of the spectrum, we got people saying the wings are the ugliest thing they've ever seen in their life. Why did BMW do this? They're useless for street use, blah, blah, blah. So this is going to be your definitive guide for what fits from the 23 to the 25 and what fits from the 25 on to the 23. I'll also be going over changes I see in the bike from the 23 to 25 model, even the smallest changes that I notice. I'll let you guys know. I think it's best to start from the rear of these bikes and work our way forward because the rear of these bikes have the least amount of changes from the 23 to the 25, while the front has the biggest changes from the 23 to the 25. And if you guys don't have time to watch the entire video, that's cool. We have chapters in the description. Just skip to the part you want to see. First test here is going to be the tail. Let's go ahead and pull this off. It's going to be the easiest thing to pull off. There she goes. OEM tail gone. Let's go ahead and put a 23 tail on a 25. Yep, fits perfectly. So you have the GoPro mount there. That's the only difference. And swapping it over to the 23, you can see it's white, white, white. There we go, pure white. And this one just has basically 3 stickers. If you wanted to put 3 stickers on there, you could. Of course, we added the RR stickers here to the sides. This one has just a sticker with no RR on it. This is the 25 seat that we stuck on the 23. Now let's go ahead and go down to the subframe portion of here, the trellis. This is the subframe trellis here. We have the Gillies race hooks here. We're gonna be transferring over to the 25, make sure those fit. I'm pretty sure they're gonna fit. But also check out the texture here. This is a black subframe, and it's a nice smooth texture. Now let's go over to the 25 trellis, and you'll notice this is a more rough texture. I like it. It's the same exact shape, same exact design, except now it's a different color. We're matching the Swingarm color, which is like this goldish color, and you see on the 23 it's a black color. So of course there's gonna be some fans of the black and some fans of the new, and there's gonna be some haters. Now this is really easy. It's just a number 40 Torx. There we go, easy swap over. As you can see, they're the foot pegs, race hooks, cleans up the rear of the bike pretty nicely, and you can strap the bike down in the truck just by putting a strap there, and it holds the whole trellis of the subframe, instead of, let's say, the rear sets or something that may not support enough weight. As for the taillight, you can take your favorite taillight from your 23 plus bike, not 20 through 25, but 23 plus bikes will all take the same exact taillight. You see the NRC here, I've got one coming in for the 25. It'll go right here, replace this plastic junk here. All right, let's talk about seats here. I have the 23M seat right here, and of course, the 25M seat here. Now this actually comes from the 23-24 M1000RR, and as you can see, it is a wider seat. Wider, longer, and taller. You can see the bump right there. It's about an inch taller than the standard seat. So if you're a short king out there, you may want to swap this seat to something else like this. Now it is a T25. The bolt's right here, and I've already loosened it. It's on both of them the same way. So if I want to take this off, I want to take this one off. I'll put this one on the ground, and we'll take the 23 seat and put it here on the 25. Right there, fits right on. So if you're a shorter rider, I'd probably recommend what they call, I think, the comfort seat at this point. It's this seat right here. It's not really comfortable, but it is, I guess, more comfortable than a taller seat if you're shorter. Or you can go ahead and get the BT Moto lowering link, which you can see right here I have on the back of the bike now. That's the lowering link right there that BT Moto offers. It's a simple swap. It just swaps out that stock dog bone right there, which we'll also be doing to this bike later. And now that we have the seats off, we can see into here, and you can see not much has changed. We still have that same lithium-ion battery. We still have the same ABS module here. Still even the same plug setup. You can see right there and right there. Like nothing has changed between these two. So why don't we go ahead and change these side fairings right here, the tank huggers, I guess you'd call them, from the 23 to the 25, then we'll know those are compatible, along with the top part here, which I'm pretty sure all this is compatible, but why not just make sure? This is very simple, picks up, just like that. All right, back to our 25 now. This is a 23 top. in. There, fits perfectly. You can see there's the 25 and there's the 23. Really, it just is a sticker. So the sticker is the difference. And it says RR on the 23, and it says nothing on the 25 in different sticker shapes. So if you like that sticker, you can pull this one off and just buy that from the dealer and put it on the 25 if you want. Now we're starting to uncover the EC, which is right here. We can see we got the throttle right here, which is our quick action on the new one here. And we've also got the same thing over here. It looks exactly the same, no difference. And there's the throttle right here as well. So let's swap out these tank huggers real quick and make sure they fit. T25, T25, and you pull and it goes forward real easy. All right, here's the carbon. Make sure she fits. Yeah, everything appears to be the same. Sliding right in. Okay, the swap over on the carbon for the tank covers is complete with the actual 25 top as well. Everything fits perfectly. You see there's no issues with fitment whatsoever. One thing I will say, BMW with the carbon pack does not provide tank covers. You have to buy those separately if you get the carbon pack. The BMW carbon pack only covers the carbon here in the mid-fairing, the carbon right here on the front fender, the mud guard, the chain guard, and the front chain protector. That's the only thing that comes carbon from the carbon pack. It excludes the tank covers. So you can buy them from BMW and you kind of swap out the white portion here into the carbon, or you can get them like we did. This is from RPM, this is RPM carbon. It's flawless carbon, looks just like OEM. In fact, everyone does think it's OEM when we talk to them. Great carbon if you guys are looking for an alternative from the OEM pricing. Now the exhaust is exactly the same on both bikes. This is the 23, this is the 25, just looks newer, that's all. We got the same suitcase underneath here with a cat. We got 4 sensors on the exhaust, just like the previous years. Nothing's changed here. We even have the exhaust valve in the exact same location as we do in the previous years as well. Now the rear set on the 2025 is different. This is more from the M1000RR. And you can see right here, this is the older version of the 23 version we have on our 23 that came with the billet pack. Now the billet pack comes with these ones. I like these ones better personally. And if you want to change out, let's say, the position of this, you got all these pegs here. You can't lift it up because it's not under there. What you have to do is do like a T20 right here, pulls out. This whole peg will come out, and then you can remove the screw that's in there and put it to wherever you like here to adjust that location. And you can also adjust this. This goes standard shifting and GP shifting, which I'll actually swap out because I got big clown feet. Another thing I usually pull off is this nub right here. Just get rid of it. This is simple. It's just a T30. There is a washer behind it. I'm gonna be careful with that. I'm just gonna move this over. And you can have 2 holes here depending on what size you want this or what height you want it at. Now there's really no wrong hole to put this in as far as which hole to put it in. As long as you don't change the length of this bar here, you'll be fine. All you gotta do is put it in these holes here. I'm finding the outside fits best with my foot. And you wanna put a little dab of non-permanent Loctite on this because it's in part of the rear set and the shifter. There's a lot of vibration here. And you don't want this to come too loose and fall out. And there we go, all done. So anything change with the wheels or anything? No. We still got the same, you see right there, 46 tooth rear sprocket with a 17 front there. Same even the tires. Even the tires are exactly the same. So they didn't change anything with any of this stuff from 23 to 25. The swing arm, while definitely powder coated a different color, you can see right there black, and then we've got this color matching the trellis here. It's the same exact everything else, it's just the color changed. Chain guard, same exact thing. Mud guard, same exact thing. These are all the same parts, and I have the carbon on the way right now for all this stuff because we couldn't get the carbon pack with this bike, meaning BMW didn't offer it from the initial offering of all the new bikes. Moving on to the belly pan now, which is connected to that mid-fairing. We'll see if an older model carbon, I have the older carbon fairings here that we used at first. I want to swap this one over, but because of the luggage at the bottom we have stock here, I don't think it's going to fit very well. So I'm going to try the first ones here that are a mimic of basically the OEM ones from a 2023 and see if it fits in the 25. All right, now that we got it off, all it is a matter of is swapping a couple grommets out, a couple little pieces, and then we'll see if she fits on the 25. The grommet swap over is really easy. It's really just this rubber grommet. Where is it? This rubber grommet. So there's two on each side, on each panel. Got to swap over this, and at the bottom of the other one, there's in the clip over there. So it's really easy swap over. It takes maybe 20 seconds to do, and now we can put these pieces on the 25. All right, the belly is all wrapped up. She fits perfectly on the 25RR. And again, this is from a 23. We got this from RPM Carbon. See both sides here. It's actually looking really good here with the stock exhaust, of course. And now we know the mid-fairing fits perfectly. I thought it wasn't gonna fit at first because if you look here, you can see it's a very odd shape that kind of goes into it, but all it does is cover a lip on the fairing here. That's all it does. So it looks like it has like a gap, but that's actually how the stock fairing looks as well. Now I've already adjusted this to my liking. I got huge hands, so I've maxed this thing out so I do one finger braking on this, always have one finger. These are the same levers. If you look at the lever here, the billet lever, even the dial for the billet lever right there. Let's go ahead and check it out over here. Same dial. Come on, focus. There you go. Same dial, same lever, same everything, exactly the same. For those of you that like that new Fender with the air ducts on the new 2025, let's see if we can fit that onto the 2023, or if you don't like the air ducts, let's see if we can fit the 2023 version onto the 2025. This is really easy. It's just a couple T25s. Oh, they really put them in there, huh? Wow. Assuming this is Loctite. Yeah, a little bit of Loctite. All right, we've got the Fender off the 25, and we can see here, this is the look of it right here, and we have some interior pieces here that dictate the coloring, it looks like. So it looks like that's a separate piece right there. So it looks like we can probably change the coloring here if you guys really wanted to. Another thing I hate is these reflectors. Let's see how they come off. Oh, wow, they just pull off with your fingernails. There's a reflector. And this is the horrible part I don't like. There's an indentation in the fender now that we pulled that off. I still don't like the fender on there, and I'm gonna leave it off, but that shouldn't have an indentation like that. That is ugly work. It's the same deal with the 23 here. It's just two T25s. That's not supposed to happen. I just broke the head off of my bit. Craftsman quality. Luckily, I have a spare. You should always have a spare of the tools that you use the most. Let's go ahead and see if this one rips off. This is also going to be thread locked, so that's why it's probably giving me some issues. Now, I am noticing these screws are definitely smaller. So while we're here, let's just try and put the 25 Fender on the 23. Let's see if that works first. So here it is. This is a 2023 with the 2025 Fender. This is what it looks like here from the front. That's what it looks like from the side. Actually, it's not a bad look on the 23 at all. I'd want it in carbon, of course, and we have the carbon one coming. And again, this square is crazy work. Now that we know that the 25 Fender is going to work on the 23, it's pretty sure that the 23 Fender is going to work on the 25. Let's just see how it looks, though. And here you go. This is the 23 Fender on the 25. Fits perfect. Only difference here between these two is going to be the bolt and the fender itself. So the bolt is definitely a different size between the two here. You can see on the fender that doesn't have the brake cooling ducts, the bolt is very small, whereas it's very long with the air ducts. So it'd be a bolt and the fender itself, and that's it. Okay, I think next we should move on to the mirrors now. Let's see if these Rizomas fit from the 23 model. To remove the mirrors is a little more complex than most would think. It's a 10 and a 10. Those are both the nuts right there to get out to the mirrors. Now they'll physically come out, but then you have wiring. And the wiring is actually under all this paneling. So I have to pull out The windscreen, I also have to pull out the top here, and then the actual connectors are right here and here underneath this plastic panel underneath the windscreen. Now the windscreen itself is going to be 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it slides out. And this is exactly the same, the 25 as the 23. The only change I'm seeing here, which looks like it's different, you see this gap right here. This gap doesn't exist here. Now that's not because of the actual screen itself. You can see, right, the angle of this goes into straight here. The angle of this should be going straight here, but actually angles out here, it kicks out. So this piece under here is different than this piece right here. And we'll be talking about that in a second after we get to the mirrors here, but let's start with removing this windscreen. And when I do the windscreen, the washer's always at the bottom of this. There's no washers at the top of it, so always keep track of that because that's good for this. And if I were you, the only way to clean it is to actually remove the windscreen. And these grommets don't last forever, so I'd probably get a spare set of grommets so I can just kind of go through, and if they kind of fail, just get new grommets to put in there. Makes it much easier. Now we're at the front here. This piece usually just pulls out. Yep, this is exactly the same as the 23 model. This is really easy. Hook, pull up, done. Now that those are disconnected, we just need to get the 10s out of here and the whole mirror will pull out. So make sure you don't drop these nuts down into the fender because that's gonna just make it that much longer to do everything. All right, now it's time to install the Rizomas. See if they get a good fit. Looks good. Yep, those mirrors for sure fit. So now we know the mirrors are gonna fit, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off again so we can start working on the front end of this bike and see what works and what doesn't between the 23 and 25. So in order to see if the 23 works with the 25 or the 25 works with the 23, I'm gonna have to pull this top piece off of here to see exactly how it's secured under the fairing here. Now, just to show you guys, this piece right here, it's carbon, right? We have this replaced on here. This is the OEM piece right here. This is the piece I pulled off of it. And you can see this piece right here, put on the ground so I can point at it. This is exactly the same as the 25, no change. Remember I told you about that, the way it's secured in the back of it? See, exactly the same way. This is the exact same piece as the 25, and it looks exactly the same here too. What's changed is this whole inlet piece right here, and I'm curious to see how it secures if that changed at all, and to see what's compatible and what you'll need if you want to convert your 23 or 20 plus bike into a 25. So the way this piece, and this is two different pieces, one piece here and one piece here, they do not connect together, two separate pieces. The way this works is there's usually something underneath here in the front, 2 bolts right here, which is what it used to be. Now we still have the same thing, but this actually connects to it. So there's a hole underneath here, 1 hole each side, 1 hole right there, and 1 hole on the other side, that you stick, I think it's a T25, you go through here, or a T20, pull that out, and then this whole front piece will pop off of here. Now we gotta do this blind because it's kind of really in there. So let's see if the T20 works, because the T20 worked on the older models. I can't tell. Let's try a T25. It seems like there's some wiggle room in there. There, T25. All right, let's see. Jeez, they're pretty tight. And that is definitely a new screw for 25. I don't remember ever securing the bottom of it with this. All right, I think I got this figured out for you guys. If you have a 20 plus bike, let's say you have a 20 through 24, and you want to convert it to a 25, you're gonna need to get this lower piece, and that's this piece right here. Not this exact one because this is from a 23, but this is to give you an example of what the piece looks like right here. It's like some lower mounting bracket for the fairings themselves. It doesn't work with the 25 stuff. The holes do not line up whatsoever. On the bottom here, when I try to put it in here, let me see if I can do this with one hand. You can see it's just not fitting right. The mounting holes aren't proper with the bracket. None of this works right, so it's not gonna work, the lower piece. So the lower piece does though, you can see the mounting positions of the lower piece, which are gonna be there and there, right? The mounting pieces, which are the same exact ones here. So the mounting surface is the same for 20 plus bikes. You'll just need to get that plastic piece and the fairings themselves. When I say fairings themselves, it's just this side and then this side. There's like 2 sides to this. And the centerpiece may or may not come with this. I'm not sure. It looks like it actually detaches from here, so you may have to get this piece as well. So now that we got that figured out, let me put the top of this thing back together, and then we'll swap mid-fairings from bike to bike. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna swap the mid-fairing from the 25 to the 23 and the 23 to the 25, so you guys get a good visual of what it looks like between the two bikes. To remove the fender on the 23 is really simple. We have to push off the logo here, which you reach on the inside. Let me see if I can do it while I'm one-handing this whole thing here. See, the logo kind of pushes out. There we go. And there's the main fairing holder right there, the main fairing bolt right there. There's one right over there. There's maybe one right here. And then there's 1 and 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to pull this piece out right here. That'll remove the whole side fairing. Now in this one, I believe it's about the same process. Let me see if I can pull this logo out. I haven't even tried to put my hand down here yet. Let's see. Yep, that's coming out. There we go, comes out. So I just kind of gave everyone a tip there on how to steal BMW logos, so just don't do that. It's for educational purposes only. Anyway, main screw here, another screw at the back here, one screw here. These are all the same layout so far, and we have a few screws in here. I believe there's one extra. There's a fourth one, I believe, up in there. I'm going to show you guys in a little bit. While I have the fender still on here, if you guys want the 50th anniversary badges, you can get them at the dealer. You just push that right on there. See how that looks. If you guys like it, go get it. They're at the dealer. So now we got all those removed. I'm going to have to go under the front fender here. Let's see here. And check this out. All right, so under here, we've got some new stuff here. This lip, this plastic lip right here, this is something not on the 23-24 models. You'll have to definitely buy this in conjunction with any of the front pieces if you want to transfer over to an older model bike. It's just a little plastic piece down here. It looks like it kind of connects to the lip of the new front, but also the way this connects, you can see, let me see if I can get you in here, guys. All right, so that has to go, and I'm putting my finger on right there. This has to go. This has to go, there's one here. This has to go. And I believe that's it. And then the whole front or whole mid-fairing will come out of here. Okay, now I had to pull this out and there's one little bolt hiding behind here. It's the same on the 23, I just forgot about it. Now let's see if this will come out. There's a grommet back here, it's kind of stuck on. There we go. There she goes. Now that we got that off, you can see what's bracing those large wings right there. That's part right there. On the 23, 24 M1000R and even on the 21, this is all carbon. This is plastic here. Now that we have the fender off, you can see the attachment to the front end of this is completely different than the 23-25 models or the 23 even through 24. The 25 has this special piece in the front here. It looks like it detaches, and this actually secures to everything else. These are different than what we see on the 23 through 25, and the bolt are all different sizes. Even the bolt behind the logo you'll see right here is a short one, and when I go over the 23, it's gonna be a long boy. You can see on the fender itself, the red, just like the fender, has like an, it's like a piece you can pull off that's red. So it's not a permanent piece. So you could probably pull it off and make it carbon. That'd be cool. If someone can make this in carbon or whatever, both the inlets, or make it whatever color you want. It looks like it does remove off of this piece right here. Now that we've got the 25 panel removed, let's move on to the 23. See? Long boy. All right, that should do it. I'm just gonna put the towel here so we back this thing up. It's not gonna hurt the frame. So here's something weird. I've got both the interior of the fairings out. I just wanted to see if the carbon worked from the 23 to the 25, and it does, but I thought it didn't. Because you see right here, this lines up. You see right there, that's why this screw needs to be so long, because it lines up actually with the hole for the emblem. Whereas this one goes to the emblem here, but the carbon is lined up with the hole. So the carbon upper piece will work on the mid fairing. So this is interchangeable from here to here, or if you have a third party, it'll work actually. It's just the mid fairing itself has changed, but the mounting points are all the same except when we're talking about this piece right here. So it's a different front mount. It has this little plastic piece, this front piece, and there's a couple different screws. So not a huge change. All right, this is the end result. This is the 2025 with the 2023 wing on it. Now, the main concern here, I guess, would be you can see where the top fairing meets the bottom fairing, or the head fairing, I guess you can call it, meets the mid fairing. You can see on the right side there, over on this side, you can see it's kind of nice and even, whereas on the left side here, it's really bulbous at the top, then gets really skinny at the bottom. And there's also different ways to secure it at there. I can't even really secure it to the bike right now because this piece right here, this needs to be changed. This whole top needs to be changed. So if you're gonna do a transfer to a mid fairing, you're gonna have to do a little bit of custom work to make it fit. Now it fits on the bike just fine, back there up until about here. Like I can't even secure this to the actual bike itself because this piece up top here, the plastic piece I was showing you before that secures the wing, doesn't line up properly with this. This doesn't line up properly at all. I can't make that work. All right, so I briefly put the 25 back together so I can show you guys exactly what it's gonna take to convert your 20 through 24 over to a 25 if that's what your preference is. First, you're gonna need the mid fairings and the top fairings. If you wanna do the mid fairings only, you're gonna have to do some custom work to attach these mid fairings to the centerpiece. There's no way around it. There's gonna be some custom work there. Now, what I highly recommend is doing the top fairings and the mid fairings if you wanna convert to a 25. And in order to do that, what you'll need here, you'll need this plastic fairing right here and this plastic fairing right here. These are two separate pieces. Now those both secure to the bottom piece here, which you'll also need just this bottom piece here, whatever year you get. So if you're getting a 25, you'll need the 25 bottom piece. This piece is the same right here for anything 21 and above. This is exactly the same. So it's really just this piece right here we're talking about, get all the hardware for it. And then the top will actually secure right to that. Now you have the top piece completely done. You also need this piece right here, which I'm pretty sure comes with this piece if you buy it for the 25. Moving on down, you'll need the mid fairings themselves. Now, all the screws and bolts up until about here fit just fine. So this bolt here is different. You also need what supports the wings. If you get a 25 with the wings here, of course, you'll need that part that secures over the whole thing to support these wings. That's even if you have a 23 through 24, you'll have to get the 25 specific one because they sit in different locations where this will fit or will not fit. You'll also need the extra screws through here and hardware. You also need this bottom plastic piece here that seems new that kind of ties everything together to the nose, and all the bolts that go to it because they're going to be of different size now. So the conversion is going to be the nose fairings here and the mid fairing and what's underneath there. Now, if you have a 25 and you hate these wings and you want to convert into an older bike, the easiest way in my opinion is if you can find someone that has the year that you want and they want a 25, swap fairings. It'd be the easiest swap. You can swap hardware right there on the fly. You don't have to do any custom work. It'll just be a quick swap. Now, if you want to convert your 25 into an older model, I still recommend the top fairings, the nose fairings here, and the mid fairings along with everything else. I'm really happy that we got a lot of pieces that port over, including even the mid fairing carbon, the tank huggers, the rear section. Pretty much a lot of this bike ports over for modifications we already know about the bike. So that's your comprehensive video on what works between the 23 and 25 and how to port everything over to the 25 and what works. The next video I'll be doing here is going to be that quick action throttle we've been talking about. I wanted to put it in this video, but I didn't want to make this video too long. In this video, I want to take some time with. I want to make sure to port this over properly from this bike 25 over to our 23, and then if there's any adaptations that need to be reset, I'm gonna ride the bike and see how it feels. We'll see exactly what it feels like before and after the quick action throttle is ported over. That's gonna do it for this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one.